So clearly this is a very small picture that we see. It is just a tip of the iceberg. So we need more effort in terms of unveiling the evidence. We need more research in this to show, to convince the government and the top leadership that this is something we're investing in and preventing. We all know the risk factors. One of them has just been demonstrated. If you don't know how to swim, you are at risk of drowning. But also age. Children have been seen to be most affected. Gender. I do not know why males are affected in all injuries. I'm an injury epidemiologist, but in all types of injuries, the males are most represented. I do not know why, but this is something that can be debated on. So, and there are other things, use of alcohol, non-use of life jackets, and many others. So the question we have, what can we do to dent this burden? We need to put a big dent on this burden of drowning in the country. So as a step towards efforts to dent this burden, the School of Public Health led the development of the first national strategy for drowning prevention. And we are happy that this strategy has been fully taken up from academia and it has been taken up by the government. The Office of the Prime Minister assigned the Minister of Water and Environment to lead the adoption of this strategy as a national document. And there are several things, as you might have seen the flyer, and the Minister of Water will tell us more. But there are things that we need to pay attention to urgently. The Marine Police will tell you, our survey found that the average rescue time for a drowning victim is 45 minutes. And from the testimony you heard from our sister here, they took 7 hours in the lake. So the average rescue time is 45 minutes for the Marine Police. And yet we know that drowning can kill in 20 seconds or maximum 3 minutes once the process has started. So this is a problem, again, that we need focus. And again, we thank the Minister of Health that attempts towards reduction of this time have been made by procurement of the boat ambulances. And this is an area we need more. They have talked about life jackets, and many people don't trust the jackets that are in the market locally. So the School of Public Health, again, has done tests. We did a survey and we wanted to test the seaworthiness of the jackets that are available in the local market. So we worked together with the Maritime Administration and then the Uganda National Bureau of Standards. The results are yet to be published, but they are not good. And this causes an alarm on the types of life jackets that we have in the market, which may again build false confidence that even when you have the life jacket, is it really seaworthy? Is it going to save you? So the results from the School of Public Health will reveal that soon. So as we end, or as we mark this day, let's remember that even if the numbers seem small compared to other causes of death, even if it is just one death, let's remember that that one person who has died was probably the whole world to that family that has lost that person. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And home drowning is common. I also have a friend whose brother drowned in a water tank. An incident happened in Barala. These water tanks, water for domestic use. Inquisitive boy tries to climb it on the tank. It was open and drowned and died. It's very sad, but these things happen. It can be even a basin. If you have a toddler and you have a big basin and you don't monitor them, it can happen. I want to recognize do we have any representative of Rainbow International School with us here? Rainbow International School. But I want us to give them a big round of applause for giving us such a great environment with a great ambience. There is no place found suitable like this, with a swimming pool where we had a great demonstration. Allow me invite the representative of Ministry of Water and Environment to come and make brief remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Our guest of honor, all protocol observed, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Engineer Winnie Namagembe from Ministry of Water and Environment. Giving a brief remark of this day. We are glad as Ministry of Water to be part of this event, and knowing like today is the first day we are celebrating this day in Uganda, like physically. So our request is we really need to make this day visible. As a country, basically most people in the villages are not on social media, and I know it has been going rounds on Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, but probably our people in the village who are mostly affected really don't know much about the drowning day. But I would also like to convey this message that we all have these flyers, and Ministry of Water and Environment in partnership with different government agencies and non-government organizations are preparing a strategy. This strategy is in a draft form, but we are having several engagements with the different agencies whereby we are now developing a concept note. We are looking for donations of funders. The strategy has 5 thematic areas as outlined in this flyer, of which we need to teach school-age children swimming and water safety skills. It has been demonstrated there. We've seen a team teaching the school children, because these are the group that really is more interacting with the water. School and everywhere they go, they interact so much with water. So they need to be taught these skills to be able to save this generation. We also need to teach safe rescue and resuscitation. The team from SwimSafe has also shown us that. So it's part of the strategy, and we need to build resilience and manage flood risks and other hazards. Because people, you can find here when it has flooded, you will not know whether there is a ditch. People also drown in such instances. So part of this strategy is also to build resilience, and we need to create awareness on water safety and drowning prevention for different kinds of risks. Another part of the strategy is to set and enforce safe boating, shipping, and ferry regulations. They've talked about the boats that are of local quality. So Marine and the other agencies will need to work still together in the strategy to come up with the safe regulations that we need and enforce the standards that are needed to help us prevent some of this drowning. As we are saying, we need, each one of us has to do one thing to prevent drowning. So many entities are being brought on board, where we have Ministry of Health, there's Works, we have Ministry of Agriculture, we have the Wildlife, there's the School of Public Health, and all other entities. We all need each other in this, because we all need to stop this or prevent it. Thank you so much.
Are we getting hungry? Let's clap really for those great remarks. She talks of the ditches, the bridges. I hope you saw an incident in Kenya where a bus approached a bridge that had overflowing water and was swept away, and all the occupants died in that fatal bus. So Ministry of Works and Transport, you have an opportunity to tell us whether our lakes, our roads, our bridges are worthy to save our lives. You're welcome, Ministry of Works and Transport.
Thank you so much, MC. I'm Sims Brad from Ministry of Works and Transport, and I sit at the Maritime Administration. It's true the Ministry of Works and Transport is mandated to regulate the water transport sector in Uganda, and does that through the Maritime Administration that was formulated in 2016. And as the ministry, there are some legal frameworks that we use to regulate the sector, the water transport sector in Uganda. And maybe briefly, if I can share with you some, there is the recent one, the Inland Water Transport Act of 2021 that the President has acceded to. So this was a great milestone to the ministry because, previously we had old laws that were not relevant to the current sector, and this law coming into force really gave us a push. And currently we are in the final drafts of the relevant regulations to help put the law into act. And also I had a concern about our boat standards, the way they are constructed. So we have the Lake Victoria Transport Regulation 2010 that clearly hints on how a boat should be constructed. But of course, as you know, we've been having, first the Maritime Administration is a new, like I said, it's 2016, so we're really trying to pick up on how to get the maritime affairs to strengthen them and ensure that our lakes are safe. But this Lake Victoria Transport Regulation 2010 clearly hints on all the safety aspects of a boat, the life-saving appliances, firefighting, and how you can design a safe boat. And that's when I want to call upon everyone here, especially the UPDF and Marine Police, to really power up on the enforcement of some of these regulations. So I want to take you briefly to the interventions that the ministry has done in regards to ensuring that our water bodies are safe. And I think one of them is the ministry has taken up the initiative of distributing quality life-saving appliances, the life jackets, to most of our fishing, our landing site communities. At least every quarter we do try to reach out every landing site through our sensitization programs, and we do give out these life-saving appliances. But I will note one thing that I think everyone should take home. We have a challenge of, I think, sensitization, because much as we do issue out these life jackets, we issue out like today, the next month you go to a fishing community and none is using them. And really to us that's a challenge, because you find someone keeping the life jacket at home and is sailing on waters without one, especially, and that's common with the fishing communities, the fishermen. And really, that's when I want to call upon everyone here to really take up this initiative to say they are used to their old ways of doing things, and this is where we want to try to awaken them. Because once you have this safety gear on, and it doesn't matter the standards of the boat, if it has an issue, this protective gear can protect you, can keep you afloat for as long as the rescue will come. So that should be the first step that we really put so much emphasis on. the life rings, the life jackets need to be on board the vessel. Another thing, the ministry has established the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center until it's now operational. And this is to help receive distress calls, emergency situations on water bodies. It has a call-free toll line 110 that maybe people can share with those who are near these landing sites and people who regularly access water bodies. 110 is fully operational. You can call in at any time when you have an emergency on water, and there will be someone to attend to you. And currently will partner with the UPDF and Marine Police to ensure to coordinate the rescues, because as a ministry we currently we are trying to build capacity that I'm going to share with you. But currently the UPDF and the Marine Police are partnering with us to ensure that once we receive an emergency, we can connect with them and they go out to rescue the person in distress. So if I can go to another intervention of the rescue centers that the ministry is planning to establish. Actually the contracts are signed, so constructions are to June. So we plan on establishing 9 rescue centers across inland water bodies, and this shall be equipped with rescue boats and rescue operators. Plus of course there will be fish drying sheds for women, and plus some other health and personal hygiene facilities. So this is ongoing. Once complete, it will help to really boost the safety on our waters. And the gentleman from public health has hinted on the rescue time. We really hope once these centers are established and well facilitated, we will have the rescue time minimized as possible. So that's one of the major interventions that the ministry is taking up. And another thing is, as you well know, most of the marine accidents on waters are mainly due to, of course, boat standards is one key. And also the bad weather and the unpredictable weather on our lakes. And as a ministry, we have taken up the role of ensuring we have weather communication on our lakes. And in so doing, we have installed 9 weather buoys to help our local mariners, people who access these water bodies, to help forecast the weather. Before someone goes on the lake sail, they should know what is ahead of them, the tides, the magnitude of the waves. So and this information shall be available to all through our call line. I've shared the 110, and it will be a safe practice. Before you go out on the lake, you call in and get all this information, because we have we share it with you, we tell you how it is out there on the lake, so that you go there knowing. And we hope this will be a very big intervention to help our local communities. And I would like to say, much as we have all these interventions in place, we need the input of every stakeholder here, and that's why I want to thank the organizers, Ministry of Health, Swim Safe, World Health Organization, and every stakeholder that is here for really commemorating this day and creating as much awareness about the World Drowning Day. It's true drowning kills and surely no one should die of drowning. And I thank the opportunity given us to be a part of this, and I hope we'll continue engagement from here. And that's why I would like to propose to make this day really so much visible for leaders. It would be of great value if we had the next celebration at one of the major learning sites in the country. I think that would really get so much visibility and awareness to the local communities out there. I thank you all and thank you.
Thank you, Ministry of Works and Transport. And indeed, you came with good news. We are glad to learn that there are going to be facilities constructed around the country to aid rescue services. I would like to challenge each one of us with a smartphone and on social media to do at least a single tweet. And our hashtag is WDPDUG, hashtag drone prevention. Tweet what your takeaway message from this event. I know there are very many young people on social media who are likely to be victims of drowning. So let's spread the message. If you took a picture earlier or a video, share that video and tag in this hashtag WDPDUG, hashtag drone prevention. We are getting to the climax of this event, and I would like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. JB to invite the chief guest. I am not better qualified to invite our chief guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MC. Our guest of honor. If I invite you, allow me say a word or two about our guest of honor. Dr. Laura Chalice, who is here representing the Minister of Health, is the Director of Curative Services at the Ministry of Health, and this Department of Medical Services lies directly under his supervision. Some of the meetings which we have been undergoing to prepare for this World Drowning Day Prevention Day have been coordinated by him, chaired by him. He has been the key factor in the development of the policy on emergency medical services, and as the team of Ministry of Works was indicating that marine units from 2016. In 2017, the Department of Emergency Medical Services was established at the Ministry of Health and the Directorate of Dr. Laura Chalice. And he's a senior consultant surgeon. He's a public health specialist, and also a senior administrator who has led many of the regional hospitals in the country, and a big advocate of prevention of injuries, drowning, road traffic, name it. So allow me take this singular moment to invite you, Dr. Oral Charles, to talk to this great team. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. The WHO country representative represented the Minister of Internal Affairs, represented by the Uganda Police Force, the IGP Mugisha, and your members, the Minister of Water, and other MDS, Professor Hatha from the University of Southern California, and a special want to organize the founder of Ray United Football FC. Let's clap for him. The executive director of SimSafe, all central government MDS, district representatives, all our partners who have been mentioned. I don't want to repeat that. All our sponsors, the media, all invited guests and gentlemen. Members, I think we've been seated for a long time, and for the sake I would like you globally be upstanding for one to be standing for 30 seconds. And I think in the process I will also be able to guarantee that you will be able to listen to me. So I think I want to take this opportunity because my role is just to read the statement of the minister. While you are outstanding, they are just about to one or two groups which I want you to acknowledge. I want you to acknowledge Big Cloud Professor Asa from the University of California. And you have the young man, the founder of the Ray United FC. I think we really done very good, and probably for me, you don't need my age to be able to find something. You can be seated. I also want to appreciate all of you in your special category for being here. Swim safe. For really keeping us reminded that we really this is one of the unfinished business which we have to do. So when we talk in terms of strategy, I think all of us are here. So can we agree that by the time we have the next commemoration, this will be probably one of the documents which we shall be launching. So JB and the team, I think this is one of the things which we will be able to load. Come that time which we will be able to launch. The other aspect which I want to commit on the side of the ministry, I think these functions or commemorations matter most if we take it to the community. So I also agree that the next celebrations we are going to choose one of the landing sites where we will do. But also give you an opportunity that when you are in the landing, there are things which come from the water. You can become beneficiaries of them. The other aspect, just like everybody has had experience, I think we have to give everybody experience here on experience. But I think one of the key aspects when we talk prevention was primary prevention. I think one of the key aspects is the warning signs. So that you don't get in the water when really things are not things which are not good. I had also a chance to take a cruise myself, and the water at that time, we had actually been told that the water was not good. But the person who was moving with me because he was my senior insisted that we have to reach one. So all the other ones could cow whatever, because for them they knew that was the time of the year when the water is what? Turbulent. Then we get in which you say that like this life jacket which you are not sure of its quality. We move and good enough to reach our destination. That's why I'm talking. Because if we will not reach. So we do reach our destination. And the statement which you get from the other people that we're not sure whether you're going to reach. Actually, all they are anxiously waiting for one. So I think one of the key aspects of primary prevention is the issues of what? Us having those warning signs and people be able to, somebody be able to enforce that we be able to do that. I want to also comment all the other ones of government regulating the water transport system because as you said, people will load. Whereas even the lifts, they put their maximum of 2,000 kilos. I don't know whether boats, they put them what's the maximum of how many kilos? Because you will have the physical luggage before you put the human what? The human luggage. So I think those are the things which we need to be able to do. So ladies and gentlemen, those are my statements as Dr. Laro Charles. Now I will read the statements of the Honorable Minister. So particularly on this occasion, when we mark the World Drowning Prevention Day, on the theme of anyone can drown and no one should. I don't know if there's anybody who can put up his hand. He should be in this group. I think all of us will not put our hands up. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be here with you at the World Drowning Prevention Day. Let me therefore begin with congratulating the ministries, department, agencies for working towards safe waters and contributing to the country's healthy livelihood and reduction of the early deaths through drowning prevention. United Nations General Assembly resolved in April 2021 to proclaim the 25th July as the World Drowning Prevention Day and urged a number of states and relevant stakeholders to observe it annually in an appropriate manner in accordance with all the national priorities. And I think we can say that we've done that today. I think I'm confirming what Emma mentioned, that people are getting hungry. I'm confirming. So drowning, so I need to run through the speech of the minister, but you know, I have no control of how long it is. It's just that I'm going to read what the minister has put. So drowning is a process of experiencing respiratory impairment from submersion or immersion in liquid. Drowning outcomes are classified as fatal or non-fatal. So either you survive it or it does what? It takes you. So Global Report on Drowning Preventing a Leading Killer and highlights that 372,000 persons drown worldwide each year, as pointed out. The drowning are leading causes of death for children and young people in every region, and we have known that it's much more higher. Globally, the drowning deaths among those who are aged 25 years and below. There are approximately 42 drowning deaths every hour. So it's almost like one in every minute. So this is in every day. And males are twice as likely to drown as females. The drowning death is almost two-thirds that of malnutrition, as well as a half of that of malaria. So as we talk of malaria, talk of malnutrition, we really need to be able to highlight the aspect of drowning. Drowning rates in low and middle income countries are over 3 times higher than in higher income, as you heard from the statistics from Makerere, and is reported in other parts of the country. Report about 60% of the victims of drowning do not survive. But in our case, they reported about 90%. So we really be able to look at those different indicators and see how do we change the trajectory. Do we want them to continue at 90%? Do we want to reduce them and move them to what we would probably say is an acceptable number? For lake sites like Lake Victoria registered the highest number of incidents, followed by Albert, Lake Wamala, Lake George and Edward, and other rivers, ponds, valleys, and even sand quarries. But there's one other key aspect which normally sometimes we don't talk. is the issues of alcohol use around water, an important risk factor for drowning in many countries, especially in adolescents and what. And I think this definitely impairs your cognitive functions. Furthermore, the report sets out the evidence showing a range of effective drowning prevention interventions and made recommendations for concrete measures to be taken by national and local governments. So this is really detailing that each of us has got a responsibility. And what does it say? Basic water safety skills include inter alia safe behavior around water hazards to minimize the risk of adventurally entering into water bodies. Like Asema has said, he does not know how to swim. But probably when he gets into tempted into also to jump into the one that he has known now how to do what? Swim. And you know that really puts you into what? A risk. So that's behavior is one of those key aspects of it. And the other one, definitely the vulnerable individuals, ensuring vulnerable individuals, particularly too young to swim or who do not know how to swim, are supervised or otherwise prevented from advertently entering the water. Responding safely and effectively to someone who is drowning. Because sometimes you had, even within the swimming pool, while other members are on the other side, going to swim and as drowned. Knowing how to float and breathe, if one is unable to swim and advertently enter into water. You had the experience of the chairperson from Kalangala. Probably if she had attempted to breathe while inside there, she would have found herself what? Actually dead, because she would have galloped what? A lot of water. So we really need to be able to tell people what you need to do. We are in the process of building targeted attention to drowning like any other public health issue. As such, we need to mobilize all skills, talents, and ideas, as well as well-wishers across the country, for us to harness the ingenuity of everyone in finding solutions that will not only help us to prevent drowning, but also put us in a sustainable path in order to achieve a healthy livelihood in the water bodies. Because as was mentioned, people will continue to push for livelihoods. So whereas we want people to have those livelihoods, we should be able to prevent that. To achieve that, MDS, development partners, and individuals who are armed with knowledge and skill will be key to make this a clarion call to you all to be of service to humanity. The theme of the commemoration that anyone can drown, no one should. That it means that everybody has a role to play, and our focus, as I want to emphasize again, is on aspect of prevention. We should not be able to allow it to occur, because when it occurs, it will be difficult. But prevention definitely cuts across. You will do primary, secondary, and tertiary. But we need to call for community-based actions where our population live. We need to install barriers in controlling access to water where it's feasible. We need to provide safe places, for example, away from water for preschool children with capable child care. We need to teach school-age children basic swimming, water safety, and safe rescue skills. We need to train bystanders in safe rescue resuscitation. Yes, I agree that we've started, but the numbers are still limited, and I think we'll need to grow that. But what is important for all of us that we have started. So let's do on. That so the commissioner here, I hope his numbers will change next. He will not be telling us again 25 in Kalangala. The numbers will be would have grown. The numbers would have grown. So we need to be able to sustain this number so that we can be able to do one. And I think this will in line with when they are saying that they are putting these 9 areas which are building up. If we can build capacities in those areas, then we can be able to work on that. We need to